This is big breaking emergency news. Retailers like Walmart and Costco have issued warnings and alerts about these strikes, and other companies like Home Depot, Lowe's, IKEA are also being heavily affected as well. And I've also compiled a list of over 40 different items that are going to be affected by these strikes and we could potentially see shortages from. So let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this strike is officially happening, and I have compiled a list. I've been doing some research, and I found over 40 different items. It's about 45 different items that are going to experience shortages from these ports being shut down and from the strike happening. All right. And Walmart and Costco have also issued warnings as well, saying that they are ready for this to last until the end of the year. Walmart and Costco have their stockpiles ready and prepared to go all the way to the end of 2024. So they're prepared for major disruptions to happen, and you should be stocked up as well too. So let's get into these 40 plus items really quick. I'm just going to read them off for you guys so you guys can potentially get stocked up on these things if you need it. All right, so just starting off here: seafood, shrimp, salmon, cod, bananas, cherries, mangoes, dates, figs, avocados, pineapple, fruit juice. All right, all the stuff comes in through our ports, and it's actually, some of it's actually sitting at the ports right now. There's reports that the docks in Florida, there is food rotting there right now. Food is sitting on the docks in Florida. Fruit and seafood is sitting there and it's rotting. All right, so this is happening across the country right now. Food is sitting there and it's going to waste. All right, pineapples, fruit juice, apple juice, 80% of which comes from overseas. 80% of our apple juice and a lot of these fruit juices come from overseas. All right, chocolate is going to be affected. Coffee, a lot of the coffee comes from overseas. Most of these, even if you're supporting a smaller coffee brand, a lot of them use coffee that's coming from a different country. That's just the industry. Artificial Christmas trees and also holiday items. Right, we could see shortages on any type of Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas items coming into the future. Right, a lot of retailers have stocked up, but these things are going to be harder to get as time goes on, especially if these strikes are prolonged. Cars, beef, steak, pork, cheese, alcohol, rum, vodka, electronics, cell phones, computers, toys, Legos. All right, a lot of these things are just coming from overseas. All the phones we have, even the iPhones, right? Apple's a American brand, but all their manufacturing is overseas. Most of it in China, some of it's actually in India now, and a few other countries, all right? But primarily in China. So that's coming in the West Coast, all right? And a lot of these Android phones are coming in the West Coast too. So hopefully those won't be too heavily affected, but they will be affected to some capacity. All right, toys like Legos, they come from overseas in Europe. My son loves those. All right, so that might be an issue for him. Even the kids are being affected by this. All right, pharmaceuticals, vitamins, ibuprofen, chemo drugs. This is getting serious. Most of these medications come from overseas. All right, most of these serious medications that people need and rely on, it's not manufactured here anymore, right? Which is a national security risk in itself. All right, chemo drugs, insulin medication and insulin drugs, Ozempic, anti-rejection drugs for transplants, all right? That's a major one. If we can't get these drugs on, what are we going to do? Metal parts, die-cast parts, car parts, alternators, generators, plywood, chemicals. A lot of the plywood, you think it's wood, you think it's made here. A lot of it comes from China and overseas. It's imported from overseas, right? Chemicals, motor oil, tools, power tools as well, right? So that's around 45 different items right there, that 40 plus items that are going to see shortages if this strike continues. And they're already being affected because they're already shutting things down. They've already been shutting it down the past week, getting the rail lines ready and getting the ports ready. All the retailers are preparing for this, right? And we also have both Walmart and Costco are saying this. Walmart, which is the largest U.S. container shipper in the whole country, right? They're the largest mover of container shipments, Walmart. Makes sense, but when you really think about it, it's like, wow. So they're heavily going to be affected by this. They are saying that they have been stocking up and prepping the past few weeks to get all their inventories in. That's what Walmart is saying. And Costco said the same thing. They are saying that they have been stockpiling all their products to go to the end of the year, right? That's what Walmart and Costco have been doing, right? So they're prepared for this thing to go to the end of the year. That's what Walmart and Costco are preparing for and getting ready for. So just be stocked up. We're not going to see like mass starvation or anything like that, but we could see disruptions and we could see empty shelves on certain products, right? And shortages on certain products. And we could see more inflation pressure from this as well too. And we know how inflation is. Once things go up, they just don't really go down, right? They don't go down. And they're saying that they're stocked up on their Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas merchandise as well too, and are prepped to go to the end of the year. And we're also getting warnings from IKEA, Lowe's, and Home Depot that they will be heavily affected as well too. It makes sense. IKEA is a foreign company and all of their furniture is imported from overseas, all right, from Europe specifically, so it's going to be heavily affected. Home Depot and Lowe's, also things like plywood, tools, all these things we listed here, half the things listed are sold at Home Depot and Lowe's. Generators, all these things, parts, they're all sold there. All right, so if we see slowdowns and disruptions, we're going to see empty shelves at places like that as well too. So please just hit it up for me down there, guys, to help get these warnings out. I appreciate that. People need to know what's going on, and they're getting prepared. They're ready till the end of the year, right? They were not taking any risk or any chances, Walmart and Costco, because they don't want to be dealing with empty shelves at their most active time of the year, right? This is Christmas. This is like a lot of businesses get 50% of their sales this time of year. Not Walmart and Costco, all right, but they definitely get a major bump during this time of year, and they don't want to miss out on that, all right? They're depending on that revenue. And it says here on the employment front, companies facing part shortages may resort to keeping lean inventories, and to keep costs low might have to shut down assembly lines amid a prolonged strike, according to experts that told USA Today, right? And I was telling you guys this a few days ago, that they're going to start shutting down factories because they don't have enough parts, and it's just going to be this compounding effect, and it's going to take months to unwind this whole thing if it goes on even just for a couple weeks, right? And it says here that the ports that are going to be most heavily affected are ports like Baltimore and Brunswick, Georgia, which are the two busiest automobile ports in the country. All right, so remember that Baltimore bridge situation, the Francis Scott Key bridge collapse. and that shut down all traffic to the port of Baltimore. And that was even stopping some of the U.S. military ships from leaving the port of Baltimore as well too. Right, it was a major issue and problem, and that shut down automobiles. And it's happening again, and it could be even worse this time because it's multiple ports. That was one port, and we were seeing disruptions from that. Now it's all these different ports, 36 different ports from Maine to Texas. And it says here that Philadelphia is shut down, which gives priority to fruits and vegetables, right? New Orleans is shut down, which handles the majority of the coffee coming into the country from South America and Southeast Asia. Various chemicals from Mexico also enter the New Orleans port, and from North Europe as well. We have chemicals coming in and wood products from Asia and South America, like plywood. All right, so all these things are going to see shortages. It says here other major ports affected: Boston, New York, New Jersey, Norfolk, Virginia, Wilmington, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, Tampa, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, and Houston, Texas. All right, so just make sure you guys are stocked up. Don't be hoarding or anything like that, like going to the store and buying like a ton of stuff right now, all right? Because we're already in the midst of it. And we're going to start seeing supply chains slowing down a little bit, but maybe get some extra when you're at the store, all right? Get a little bit extra, get a little bit stocked up on your favorite things like some canned fruit, just things like that. If any of these things on the list that I mentioned you need or you use regularly, get a little bit extra, right? You don't need to go get 100 of them, but get a few of them, right? So you have it, and maybe get some holiday shopping things, some Christmas shopping done too early, because we could see major disruptions of that too, like consumer goods and consumer products that people want to use, like electronics, all these things. They're potentially going to be disrupted as well too going further into the year. So thank you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up as well. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.